This is Chris Kelly with LakelandLocal.com, which is the few tests and tips for common issues with shoulder pain. Now, when dealing with shoulder pain, we usually encounter one of two issues. Either we have pain when we've got overhead movements, okay, which are caused by rotator cuff impingements, or we have pain dealing with AC joint separation. And that's actually where the two joints that connect the shoulder disconnect or, separate partially. And with that, we have pain from movements that go either across the body or behind the head. A common test for rotator cuff impingement would be to simply place one hand on the opposite shoulder and raise up like this. Okay, it doesn't really matter how high you can get the elbow, but if you're feeling pain in the shoulder that's kind of acting as the hinge, you know that that is an issue, that overhead movements are going to provoke pain. By contrast, an AC joint problem would provoke pain by simply pushing the arm across the body. All right, if I'm feeling pain there, pain upon that movement, I know that movements that go across the body, that go in what we call the frontal plane this way, are going to cause trouble, and we want to stay away from that. In either case, I've found that the best strategy for shoulder problems is to remain kind of in a front to back motion, generally staying below 90 degrees, and with what we call horizontal movements, which go from forward to back, kind of forego these two directions. And as a result, these are usually movements that are okay to perform with pretty light weight. All right, so a couple examples of that for pushing would be maybe an upper body band press. All right, with this, I'm keeping my shoulder blades tucked down, and I'm just pushing forward. My thumbs are up. This is a little more neutral orientation. That puts a little less shearing on the joint as opposed to pressing this way. I'm just pressing forward and coming back. All right, another good exercise for that, if pain allows, would be a push-up. You want to spread your hands fairly wide here, but you're tucking the elbows in slightly. You're just coming up and down. All right, finally, if you must incorporate dumbbell presses, I would probably advise to stay away from these, but you want to do them on the floor. What this does is helps to avoid kind of excessive motion of the shoulders below 90 degrees, and just pressing up and down, once again keeping the thumbs up, kind of keeps the shoulder in a more neutral orientation, helps me to keep my shoulder blades down and back. And again, as you can see, I can stop and readjust on the floor if necessary. Now when we're dealing with pulling motions, the same rules apply. In this case, we could do what we call horizontal band row, keeping my shoulder blades down and back, sticking my chest out, I'm pulling in the horizontal plane here. Or I could simply do a one-arm row where I'm pulling down like this. Generally motion, any motion that is in that plane is fine. We just want to stay away from more vertical things where our arms are up here, maybe where our arms are overhead, and you should not have any problems. But again, just be smart. Any movements that seem to provoke pain, pull the shoulder blades down away from the ears, down and back, squeeze the shoulder blades together upon pulling or pushing, and just kind of watch the direction of movement. If you're going too far overhead, that's a red flag right there, but those are your shoulder tips and corrections.